So here in this video we are going to discuss first about what is convergent sequence, okay, what does it mean, and then we are going to look deeply into geometric series. We are going to discuss about the convergence of a geometric series, okay, and we are going to discuss about the convergence of a sequence and series quite easily, doesn't matter. Then we are going to give a proof of ratio test. Okay, so what does a ratio test means? Ratio test means it's a test to check whether a series converges or not. Okay, it's a test to check whether a series converges or not. So that's it. So let's look into the definition of a convergent sequence. Okay. Okay. A sequence AN is convergent in R. We are going to only discuss about real numbers. Okay, in R, if there exists some, let's say, some m belongs to natural numbers. Okay, some m such that mod of an minus L is less than epsilon. If for all epsilon, okay, if for all epsilon greater than 0, okay, it's another real number. Epsilon is for all epsilon greater than 0, okay, we are going to find one m, which actually means for every epsilon, for every positive real number, we are saying that there is one natural number m such that this condition satisfies for all n greater than or equal to m. Okay. What does it mean basically? Okay, when we are thinking about this epsilon, we are trying to actually get closer and closer. Okay, so what you have to think is that this L is a real number. Okay, some real number. If this condition satisfies, we say An converges to this L, which belongs to a real number. Okay, so if this happens, so in order to understand this definition, okay, so first of all we have to be very sure that we cannot do infinite computation. Okay, this sequence is potentially basic. It's an infinite set. Basically, this is okay. See, the actual definition of sequence is a mapping from natural number to a real number. This each an is a real number. Okay, so for each value of a natural number, we are mapping a real number. Okay, so we are mapping a real number, and hence there are infinite number of elements in this sequence. Okay, we cannot compute all these values. So that's one thing. Okay, so what are we actually saying by this? We actually mean that we can get as close to L as possible. When the sequence, when we compute, let's say A100, A200, I mean a large number, okay, for the large number of the sequences, we are getting closer and closer to this number. Okay, and for every epsilon. So what will potentially mean if we imagine this real line? Okay, so let this be L, and this is basically L minus epsilon. This is L plus epsilon. Okay, after a certain value m, all the values of the sequences lie inside this interval. That's what we mean. Okay, an can be here, n plus 1 can be here, it can be anywhere. Okay, but all after m, all the values in the sequence lie within this interval, and we can reduce the epsilon as close as we please. Okay, for all positive epsilon we can do this. We can find a corresponding m. Okay, this m. So this is basically the definition of a convergent sequence. Okay, so what does it mean to say that a series converges? We can use the definition of convergent of a sequence to define the convergent of a series. Okay, so So let me show how it actually should be done. So a series will look like this. Okay. A series will basically look like this. Series S is equal to some A1 plus A2 plus up to AK plus up to infinity. Okay. We are interested in infinite series. Infinite sums basically. It's a basically infinite sum. It's a single number. Okay. It's not an infinite set of values. How we convert this into a corresponding sequence? Let's say I define S1 is equal to A1, S2 is equal to A1 plus A2. Similarly, Sk is equal to A1 plus A2 up to AK. Okay, and now we have a sequence. Sn. We say that a series converges. A series converges if the corresponding sequence converges. Okay, we have this corresponding sequence, right? If this corresponding sequence converges to a particular real number, we say that the sequence, the series exists. Okay, basically. So that's what it means. Okay. So these are the definitions that we have discussed so far. So now we look into what a geometric series is. Geometric series. A geometric series looks like this. Okay, it's a sum. Let's say some constant A into 1 plus 1 by R. No, I should not write 1 by R. R plus R square plus R cube and so on. Okay? This is a geometric series. Okay, when we are talking about the convergence of the geometric series, if this series exists, which means this can be replaced by a real number. This whole series can be simply replaced by some real number. Okay? And a real number into real number is a real number. It exists. Okay. So in general, we are not interested in this A. Okay. So we are only going to study about this because this is what necessary when we are talking about the convergence of a series. Okay. So let's focus on this. Okay. This series converges if modulus of R is less than 1. What does it mean? It means that if you look into the real number line, this is 0, this is minus 1, this is 1. For all the real numbers that exist within this interval, this sum will be finite and not actually equal to plus 1 or minus 1. Okay? We don't want to deal about the minus 1 here because minus 1. Well, what will happen if it is minus 1? If it is minus 1, you will have 1 minus 1 plus 1 minus 1 and so on. Okay, so when you think about this, S1 will be 1, S2 will be 0, S3 will be 1, S4 will be 0. It will not actually converge. Okay, it will oscillate between 0 and 1. Okay, if you take epsilon less than 1, you cannot find a number m such that all the sequences after that will exist within any limit. Okay, it will bounce from 0 to 1. Okay. So what will happen if it is 1? If it is 1, you are taking infinite sum, which doesn't converge. And similarly for rest of the values. Okay? So that's the point there. So convergence means it has to equate to a single real number. Okay? Single real number, that's what it means. Okay, so we okay. So let's say 1 plus r plus up to rn. Okay. What is the equivalent expression for n? Yes, we are going to see that. So if you multiply by r, you will get r plus r square up to r to the power n plus 1. Okay. And if you negate these two quantities, you will get 1 minus r into s. This r will get cancelled. Similarly, r square will get cancelled until r and it will get cancelled. Only r to the power n plus 1 will remain. So 1 minus r to the power n plus 1, because we are negating this with this equation. Okay. So this sum is basically equal to 1 minus r to the power n plus 1 divided by 1 minus r. Okay. If r is less than 1, okay, we are going to study about this. Okay, we are interested in finding basically limit n tends to infinity. Yes, right? Basically, this is what we are interested in. We are interested in this infinite sum. Okay, here I am just giving a corresponding definition. Okay, so what will happen when n tends to infinity? If the modulus of r is less than 1, this term will actually evaluate to be 0. Okay, this term will actually evaluate to be 0. And why is that? Okay, why is that? It can be proved using some principles. Okay, there are two fundamental concepts. Okay, if you are talking about a set in a real number, if it is bounded, it has a least upper bound, something called least upper bound, and it is and the convergence of this thing will be in another video. Okay, I don't want to discuss this here. Okay, it's actually quite easy, but I have to explain about what least upper bound is, what is greatest lower bound means. Okay, and Archimedean principle. If you apply all this, you will get a nice little proof of why this term converges to 0 when n tends to infinity and modulus of r is less than 1. Okay, it will be an easy proof, but those definitions are necessary. Okay. Okay, right? So why are we talking about series? Okay, series. Okay, there are many important applications. The number e, when we talk about, okay, it has application everywhere. It has application in complex analysis. When complex analysis is heavily applied in electrical engineering, physics, it's everywhere. Okay, it's basically studied everywhere. So, but no one actually knows what the actual value of e is. Okay, because it is an infinite sum. And E is basically this infinite sum, summation of n is equal to 0 to infinity 1 by n factorial. Okay, this infinite sum has some interesting properties, and these interesting properties is applied to study many other phenomena and many other problems. Okay, basically that's it. But when we are working with something, we need to know that it actually exists. Okay, so the existence of this series, we have to be sure that this series does not diverges. It does not goes to infinity, or it does not oscillates or something like that. We need to know. Okay, and in order to know about such things, such some arbitrary series, whether it converges or not, okay, we use various tests, and one of such tests is ratio test, and another famous test is root test. Okay, so we are going to talk about ratio test here. Okay, and we are basically going to use the convergence of the geometric series to obtain this proof. Okay, the proof of the ratio test. So what does ratio test gives us? It gives us a way to study about a general series, convergence of a general series. Okay, and we can whether we can use it in order to solve some problem. If we are encountering some physical problem and we are encountering a particular series in that, Okay, for example, queuing, you might have heard about queuing theory. It is applied. It is used to study about the networks, internet basically. Okay, the queues in the internet, this, how to manage the servers and everything in production everywhere. Okay, I mean everywhere in every for every business, if you can think about a queues, okay, you can apply that. You can apply queuing theory. Okay, in the airport there will be queues. In bakery there will be queues. I mean, this is actually a very big area, and there you will encounter many series. Okay, and you will encounter series in digital circuits also. No, not actually logic circuits. Digital signal processing. Okay, you will be applying that. You will be using that, and it's quite extensively used. And you basically wants to know about the convergence of the series. Okay. You have to study. You don't have to know the actual value, but you are interested in the convergence of the series. Okay. Let's see how we can proceed. So, ratio test. Okay. It says that if we have a series, S is equal to summation I is equal to, let's say, 0 to infinity ai, this series converges if ai plus 1 divided by ai limit n tends to infinity, ai plus 1 divided by ai, okay, n tends to infinity, no, sorry, I'm using n and I everywhere, okay, if limit I tends to infinity, ai plus 1 divided by ai, it exists and it should be less than 1. Okay, so this is what the claim of the ratio test. Okay, if this happens, if we have some arbitrary series here, and if that series obeys this condition, okay, then the series is convergent. This is what the ratio test is. If the limit is actually equal to 1, if the mod of this limit I tends to infinity, if it actually equals to 1, then you have to do some careful analysis here, not to check. If it is greater than 1, it is divergent. Okay, I will give a proof for why this is convergent if it is less than 1, and you can use that similar reasoning to easily prove the divergence. So proof of divergence is not so complex. If you can think about it for 5 or 10 minutes, you can basically prove it. Okay, so let's talk about this. So what does this actually means, right? What does, I mean, we are going to assume that this condition holds true. Okay, we are going to assume that this condition holds true. Okay, and so what does it actually mean? It actually means that it actually means there exists r less than 1, okay, such that for all I greater than m or equal to m, for some m belongs to n, we are just simply using the definition of convergence here. Okay, let me write it n, it's familiar notation, n greater than or equal to m. We have a n plus 1 divided by a n is less than or. Right? This r might very well be the limit of this sequence. Okay? It might very well be the limit of this sequence. No, it should not. We don't have to think about R as a limit of the sequence. Okay, let's think that let's take this real number. Here 0, here 1, okay, and here minus 1. Let's say L exists somewhere here, okay, and by the definition of convergence, we know that for any epsilon, right, for every epsilon, let's say it should be open interval, okay. For any, if you think about any particular neighborhood, you can find M such that all the sequences, all the values of the sequences will lie within this interval. Okay? If L exists somewhere between here, you can choose a small enough epsilon such that it is that L plus epsilon is actually less than 1. Okay? Because this is L plus epsilon. You can choose epsilon such that L plus epsilon is actually less than 1 because this limit is less than 1, which means it exists in this interval. Okay, you can easily choose epsilon such that L plus epsilon will be less than 1. And R can be anywhere from here. Okay, from here. You can choose R from anywhere from here. Right? So if such a condition exists, okay, you have this property. Right? You have this property. Okay? And now we are going to do some magic with R. No, simply not magic, some substitution with this R. Okay, this property exists. Okay, just remember this M. Okay, and remember this M and this thing, and this R, how it comes. And we can prove this theorem very easily. Okay. Now I am going to write the sum as this, like this. S is equal to summation I is equal to 0 up to M minus 1. Okay, I am just filtering this. Okay, AI. That's it. This is a finite sum. Finite sum, right?
Yes.
So this is actually a finite number. So it exists. So there is no need to worry about this. Then we have summation I is equal to M to infinity. Okay, AI. So we are going to study about this term. Okay. So if mod of AI plus 1 divided by AI is less than R, okay, if this condition holds true for all I greater than or equal to M, okay, we can replace A M plus 1, okay, mod of A M plus 1 basically will be less than or equal to, less than, because we are taking strict less than, will be less than R into mod of AM, right? Modulus. Any doubt about this? No, right? Because we are thinking about minus 1 to plus 1. Okay, so this can be exist here also. Okay, so we want to choose R such that mod of R is less than 1 basically. So this can happen. So what will be A M plus 2? A M plus 2 should be less than say R into A M plus 1, mod of A M plus 1. Okay, but this is less than R square into mod of A M. I'm just plugging the value of, in place of A M plus 1, I'm plugging this value. Okay, similarly, A M plus K, okay, will be less than R to the power K into mod of A M, right? This condition holds. So basically we can replace this summation I is equal to N to infinity AI as it is less than It is less than or equal to mod of ai into summation I is equal to 1 m to infinity, right? Because modulus, basically what I'm saying is here is that 1 minus 3 is less than or equal to 1 plus 3. This is what I'm saying. And if at all a minus value exists, I'm just converting it to plus. So this sequence is actually bigger than this one. Okay? Okay. But as we have seen earlier, this will be strictly less than. You can take mod am as common everywhere, right? Because ak it will be less than r to the power k into mod of am. Okay, so in that you take mod of am as common, and you will get summation I is equal to let's say m plus k. No, I have right. K is equal to 0 to infinity, you get r power k. This is what you get. Okay, because what we have seen, am, mod of am is less than mod of an, let's say ai is less than mod of am into r to the power k. I is nothing but I is equal to m plus k, if I is m plus k. This is what we have seen, I is m plus k. Okay, hence the equivalent definition, the equivalent expression is here. At every value I am substituting the corresponding that inequality. So we are getting this term. We have already seen that if mod of r, if here we are taking r as a positive value, if r is less than 1 or greater than 0, and in the geometric series this term converges to a finite value, as we have seen earlier. So this is a finite number multiplied by a finite number is a finite, it's a number, okay? So basically it's a number, I just have to say it's a number, okay? A number itself, it means it's valid, right? Validate, okay? So yes is less than this finite term, one finite term, it can be anything, a finite term, right? Plus another finite term, which would be this. Hence, yes will exist and this series will converge. Okay, and I encourage you all to actually try and prove this theorem and think about it for a while. Okay, so that's it. Thank you.